Hello everyone, and welcome to our Quantum Quest gameplay video. This short video will show you everything you need to know about the basics of Quantum Quest for 2 players. To start, you'll need to do a few things. Take out the entrance card from the Chambers deck, as this is the space that all players will start on. Shuffle both decks. When you're playing with 2 players, you need a total of 20 cards, including the entrance, to serve as your dungeon. Make a rectangle that leads back to the entrance. Each player starts the game with 5 adventurers. Your job is to keep these adventurers alive for as long as you can in order to gain ownership of the dungeon. When the players have their 5 adventurers in front of them, they can determine whether or not they have a strong party, preferably one with a healthy mix of classes with a high value of health. Once per game, the player can mulligan their starting hand of adventurers at a cost of 2 mana. Each adventurer has a special starting bonus. Starting mages give you 1 extra mana each. Starting clerics gain a negate damage token. Starting thieves determine who moves first. Warriors are damage sponges and have the most health of any class. Players keep track of their party with a score sheet. Indicate what adventurers you have, their classes, starting health, and your starting mana. 7, plus 1 for every mage, minus 2 if you took a mulligan. The player with the most thieves starts the game. If there is a tie for thieves, the player with the most thief health begins. Otherwise, settle with a die roll. Our game starts with the green player moving 7 spaces and discovering a rat's den. This room can be claimed by any class and only costs 1 mana to purchase. Green takes the room, places one of his tokens on the card, and passes the dice to the red player. Red moves next, rolling 5 to discover a chronomancer, who is claimable by mages, and is another cheap chamber. Red has the requisite class needed to purchase the chamber, and does so. Green moves again, rolling a 5 and flipping over the poison arrow trap room. This room can be claimed by thieves, and is a bit more expensive because of the damage it can deal. Green spends 3 mana to purchase the chamber. Red rolls 6 to land on and discover a cruel room. Necromantic Aether. This heavy-hitting spell chamber costs 4 mana and is only claimable by clerics, which red doesn't have. Every one of the red player's adventurers takes 1 damage. Skipping forward a few turns, green rolls 9, passing the entrance along the way. In Quantum Quest, when you pass the entrance you gain 2 mana. Green then lands on red's Chronomancer chamber. Since red owns the chamber, she gets to decide which one of green's adventurers takes the hit. But green has a trick up his sleeve. He uses one of his clerics' negate damage tokens to avoid the damage. The effect of the card is still in play though. Next turn, green moves backward. Red passes the entrance as well, replenishing her mana. She lands on an undiscovered chamber, Guardian of the Void, but can't purchase it. She takes 1 damage and must roll 1 die to move backward next turn. Because of the Chronomancer, green moves backward 6 spaces and lands on a healing fountain. He could heal up to 3 of his adventurers, but none have been damaged yet. Let's move to the end of the game. The players have traveled through the dungeon many times, acquiring chambers and taking immense damage. Both players have lost adventurers, but red's lack of clerics and thieves has left her with far less real estate. Green was able to snatch up these rooms and deal consistent damage to his opponent while avoiding that same damage. Red lands on Rolling Boulder, a tricky card that green owns. Red must roll 1 die, which green then distributes as damage to red's party. A 5 means that red's second-to-last adventurer has met their demise. Red then moves 5 spaces forward, but doesn't trigger the effects of that next room. Green has much better luck, buying another chamber that requires a mage. He lost his original mage, but picked up a new one with a lucky card earlier in the game. Red's rotten streak of luck continues, and she lands on a curse chamber, losing 2 mana, though her health remains the same. Green lands on Shadow Door, a room he lost earlier but can purchase once again thanks to the thief in his party. Red rolls double 1s. She gains a mana for rolling doubles, but she lands on a chamber she cannot purchase, Mana Storm. It deals 1 damage to her remaining adventurer and saps away that recently earned extra mana. Green rolls 9 and lands on his own chamber. Since he's the master of that room, he is safe and takes no damage, triggering none of the room's effects. Red rolls 7. She passes the entrance and gains her 2 mana, but she lands on Green's recently repurchased Shadow Door. It deals 1 damage to her last surviving adventurer. Because she doesn't have a thief, it also throws her forward 3 spaces, where she triggers the effect of that room. Meanwhile, Green lands on another of his own rooms, proceeding further unscathed. Red lands on an undiscovered room, Icy Aetherite, and takes 1 damage. Next turn, she can't purchase chambers. 9 spaces puts Green on another chamber he lost earlier. He passed the entrance and gained 2 mana, and uses 1 of that mana to purchase Rat's Den. Red rolls 8 to return to the Guardian of the Void. Unfortunately, she won't be rolling backward next turn because her last remaining adventurer took 1 damage too many and has perished in the dungeon. Green is the victor, and his heroes have succeeded in their quest. A 2-player game of Quantum Quest is a lot of fun, but it becomes really exciting when you play with 3 or more players. There are more rooms in the dungeon, and when a player loses all their adventurers, they haunt the rooms they had under their control. We hope you enjoyed this small taste of Quantum Quest. Of course, watching is a pale comparison to actually playing this epic dungeon-crawling tabletop game. Check out quantumquestgame.com to find out more, and remember to spread the word and check us out on Kickstarter. Become one of our backers to get your copy of the game, plus a whole treasure trove of extra goodies.